hi everybody. So nice to see you all in this weird world that we're living in where we're all on computers all the time, but super cool that we can do this, right? Otherwise, we'd be pretty lonely in our houses and our bedrooms. So awesome that we get to connect this way. So my name is Scott Moak. Like Doug said, I have a couple jobs. I'm going to go through some of those today, and hopefully there'll be something in there, something throughout the day that will, I don't know, provide you with a little insight, some information, answer a question. Love to see your questions. Hi, I see all the chats. Hi, hello, hello, hello. Aloha. Yeah, I'm born and raised here in Sacramento, like probably many of you. I grew up in the Greenhaven area of Sacramento, pretty much stayed right here the whole time. I played sports. My dad was a teacher of mine at my high school. I went to John F. Kennedy High School. I don't know. Do we have any JFK people on here? Suckers.
I think so. We have quite a few Sac City Unified students.
Hey, it's Sac City Unified. Hey, I have love for Sac City Unified for sure. I grew up here, played a little baseball. I went to Davis, UC Davis. If you guys know by a show of hands who has maybe been to or heard of UC Davis, hopefully a few of you. And then came right back here to Sacramento, where I've been working in a variety of different places, doing a whole variety of jobs over the course of years, and really have now landed where mainly my three jobs are all kind of around entertainment, broadcasting, which I never would have thought that was where I was going to be headed. So super cool opportunity to do what I do. And I have two kids. They're 7 and 10. They are also on Zooms like this every day. So I know how challenging it can be. And I give you guys a lot of credit for being as patient as you've been, for keeping those cameras on like you have to. I know it's hard, but really, really appreciate it. So thanks for having me, for sure.
So one of the students just was asking, what did you study at UC Davis?
I was a psychology major actually at UC Davis. Yes, I see that. I think that's Rohan. I kind of knew that I always wanted to work with people, and you'll hear a little bit about that as in one of my jobs. I thought I actually wanted to be a teacher. My dad, like I said, was my teacher at my high school. So I felt like that was kind of where I was headed. I knew I loved working with young people, and I loved helping people, especially those people that just kind of based upon where they grew up, just other circumstances, they didn't have the kind of help that I had maybe growing up. I had some privileges for sure as I was growing up younger, that some people just don't have. And so I wanted to be able to help in any way I could. So I thought psychology was the right way to do that. I ended up getting my master's in marriage and family therapy, if you've heard of that. That's where you're doing, therapy and counseling for people when they're at their some of their toughest times in their lives. I did that for a little while too, in between some of my career paths. So yeah, that's why I chose psychology, and I think it was great.
Cool. Hey, before we jump into the Studio 40 stuff, I just want to remind everyone, can you guys set your screen names, your first name and your school, just so we can help identify you real quick? So if you guys can take care of that for us in your Zoom settings, we'd appreciate it. Okay.
Love that.
So Scott, so you're doing Studio 40 live at Fox 40 Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. What is that show? Can you tell us? Should we run that real quick, or?
Yeah, it's what's in the kind of business it would be called an entertainment and lifestyle show. Many of you're all at school or working during the time that it's on, so you've never seen it, and that's probably good. It's a super fun show. It's taken some turns over the course of the last couple of years. I've been doing it now for a little over 2 years. I was with a co-host named Big Al. He's on the radio. Have you guys heard of Big Al? Has anybody heard of Big Al? He's on the radio. He was on 103.5. He was on 102.5 a long time ago, before probably when many of you were probably younger. But he's a big time radio guy here in Sacramento. And so he and I actually hosted the show together. And I think, Doug, if you want to roll, I think we have kind of the opening for what the show, this is what would play every single day when Big Al and I would host the show. So there you have it. That was the start to every single show. Big Al and I hosted that for, like I said, about a year. And the guests we have musical guests. We feature restaurants, nonprofits, really cool stories in the community. Sometimes businesses pay to come on the show because they know it gets the word out about their business. So it's a super successful show. About a year ago, Big Al and I hosted together for a year, and then the longtime host before Big Al and before me, his name is Gary Gelfand. He came back. He's a cancer survivor, a 2-time cancer survivor. There's Gary there, the good-looking dude in front. And me making a weird face and fingers. I don't know what that is all about, but sometimes they have us posing. I don't even know if we were actually together in that. You guys all know these things. You young people know how to do those tricks and put people together that aren't actually together. But Gary came back. We have been doing the show together now for about a year, and it's been fantastic. It's like I said, super fun. It is live. It's on at 12 o'clock from 12 to 12:30. So it requires us to do quite a bit of kind of thinking on our feet. Live shows are, they can be pretty stressful. They are super fun because you never know kind of what's going to happen. And we've had lots of examples of those kinds of things, but I think it always is, what it's doing more than anything is just requiring you to think really fast, to kind of be thinking a few steps ahead of what's coming next. That's definitely what the show, and I'm not a TV guy. I was not a TV guy, really, as I just started this a couple of years ago, but it's been a great opportunity to learn new things and to meet cool people in the community here and tell cool stories. And yeah, we get there. I get to the show about an hour before the show goes. We go over kind of scripts, except we don't really have written scripts. We have what's called a rundown in a program called EMPS. I think Doug has an image of what it looks like from a show the other day. It basically gives us the chance to kind of see what the elements are. You can see, if you can, I know you probably have to look a little close, but if you see that, those are basically for our production team, our director. That's where we know what's going up graphically on, you could see second line, third line, that kind of thing. If you go to the kind of a little more to the left, Doug, you could see the fact that, the segment, the story slug is basically what it is. That's what the element that we're going to do. It really starts at the beginning tease. That's where Gary and I, hey, welcome in. We got a great show today. It's going to be SivaCon, and we're going to talk to Doug, and then we're going to pet a dog, and let's start the show. And then it starts. And then we come back with, that's the show open animation, which is virtually what you just saw. We're still building it in January. The new one in January, we'll probably have that ready to go. And then we come back into the show live, and it's 40 years ago was our first segment. You could see the different stories that had graphics to it. We talked about the McChicken sandwich, Magnum PI. None of this is what you would know because it's all 40 years ago based on the show Studio 40, right? We play on 40 all the time. So we kind of go through, that was the first segment around 40 years ago. And then Blend Sacramento, that's a business. And I think we're going to get a chance in a little bit to watch that segment that we did. You'll get to see a little bit of how it goes. And then we rolled in with a package after that. A package is a taped piece. You'll hear that, and you probably heard that before, but a package is where you taped it in advance and then you play it as part of a show. So Gary went out and taped Grinch's Grotto. It's at the Roseville Mall, and a chance for people to come and visit the Grinch. And then we come out of it, A tease package safe. Basically, that's the tease at the end of the A block. You can see them all numbered there on the left. That basically is counting the elements. The A block is the first part of the show. You come back and it's B. You come back and it's C. In news, where they have hours and hours of where they're televised for hours and hours, they'll get down to G, H, I, J, K block. They get really, really deep. We only get to D because we're a short show. So the ATs is, hey, stay with us here on Studio 40 Live. Package Safe is a company that's trying to stop porch pirates. So we'll be back right after this. And then they go into a weather bump, which is basically where they put up the weather in Sacramento, the 3-day weather. And then they play a little top 40 music because we're cool and we play top 40 music. So that's what we use every single day. to kind of plan this so we know what's happening in the show. And we like write out little notes and bullets, and like it's not heavily scripted. Gary and I just kind of have to be ready to kind of handle anything. If that makes sense.
Hey, Nick, do we have any questions out there we want to bring in?
Yeah, Scott, we got a question from Haley from Sunrise, and she's asking, are you guys still doing the show during the virus?
Great question, Haley. And today's news by the governor changed things even a little bit for us. We took a break between, call it April, and we actually didn't come back until September. And that was because our show, the way our show has been formatted, is it's really requiring that guests come and be part of the show, in studio, outside, but we couldn't have guests in. It just wasn't safe until we got to kind of the summer months, September, when our the ownership of our company felt okay to bring people back. But we were only allowed to have guests outside. So we wear masks. So it's been a very, very different couple of months. But now, just as of today, we're actually going to go back to where we're only going to be just Gary and I outside, no guests. So all of our interviews and segments will be done either by Zoom interview or just other packages that we've built. So we've changed. It's a great question, Haley. We've changed kind of, we've had to change on the fly. It's been a little stressful, but we tried to make it kind of fun too, because the show, we know a lot of people are at home. A lot of people are sick of the news. I don't know how many of you guys are are done hearing about the coronavirus, are done hearing about all this stuff. People want something a little bit different. And so when they're home in the middle of the day, we try to lighten it up and have a little fun.
Any other questions, Nick, or should we want to play back a clip? Should we do the blended tea and blended shakes one?
Real quick, can I, if I
sure.
can, Maria asked, do I have a new intro for the show? Great question, Maria. We will have one. We're working on it now, and we will have it probably in early January. It'll look a little bit like that. It'll be fun and like moving around and all the different sites and things like that. So, so yes, great question, and we'll have it soon. I'll send it to Doug, and he can maybe show you guys what it looks like after it's done.
Cool, that's great.
12 p.m. noon. Don't watch it because you're in school. It's weird to say.
Do you want to talk demographics? Because I thought it was pretty interesting. We haven't shared this type of thing.
I did too. For some of you, I know, and it's so cool to see how the breadth of ages of all of you young people on this. Like it's incredible to see young elementary school kids who are interested in some of this, all the way up to high schoolers. One thing you know is, on TV, radio, any kind of broadcast journalism, you're always wanting to know how well you're doing. And on radio, how do you tell how you're doing? By how many people are listening. And on TV, how do you know how many people are watching? Well, that's how you know you're doing well. It's no different than on Instagram or Twitter, I guess, and some of those social platforms that you guys use. How many views, how many likes, how many shares, all of that stuff. It all is kind of the same. For TV, we use this really kind of slick way that gives us all this data, this information. So for some of you math people, this might be kind of cool for you to see, but I sent this to Doug so you can kind of take a look at this is kind of our viewer demographics. You can see the average age of our viewer, that more of our viewers are actually female than male. You see, we have 54% of our viewers are female, 46 are male. That projected viewers, so basically we're getting approximately 40 to 41. Sometimes it gets up to 45. Sometimes it's down on a slower day. We're getting about 40 to 41,000 viewers a day. That's different. That's households. Doug knows way more about this. Many of you know way more about this, especially part of the team know way more about this than I do. But this gives us a good chance to look at who's watching our show from 12 to 12:30 p.m. Kind of what their family looks like, their education level, how many of them have kids, what their income is. I think that some of the stuff down below is what interested me the most, about their occupation, how many of them own a home. But if you look, the one that's really cool is that on the right-hand side. They're able to uncover, of all those people that are watching our show, what percentage of them are doing these kinds of activities. It's fascinating, right? Like, wow, all these people, 70% of the people watching our show report that they've gardened in the last 12 months versus, competitive video gaming. I'm sure there's some video gamers on this call. on the Zoom here, guaranteed. But as far as the people that are watching our show, gardening, barbecuing, taking care of their lawn, jogging. So you see some kind of exercise metrics there. So what that I bet someone could guess why that's important to us and what we use that for. Does anyone want to kind of can we do this? Can we interactively kind of, does anyone want to take a guess of how that helps what we're going to do? Do you have to unmute? Can I ask questions like that?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, go for it.
Cole, what about Cole from Sutter Middle? I have a connection to Sutter Middle I'm going to get to in a little bit. Cole, why is that helpful for us? What would we use that for?
So that you guys can make like segments geared towards those people.
See, Cole, see, you're brilliant. That's exactly right. Because if we fill up our show talking about, I mean, no offense, but video gaming, people are going to be like, Scott, Gary, we don't care about video gaming. We care about lawns. We care about barbecuing. We care about all those things. We don't care about that other stuff. So it does, to Cole's point, it helps us really know what we want to spend our time talking about in that half hour versus not. So super helpful. Let's take a look. So Blend is one of those segments you saw there on our rundown. We're going to show you kind of what a quick segment. They're all fast. They're around 3-ish, 4 minutes. I don't know if we'll get to the whole thing, but we'll show you a little bit of how it goes. So Doug, roll it. I don't know how to
Still
do
can't
it.
do it. Oh my
But
god.
Gary's good. He knows how to do it. He can solve that thing in like minutes.
Well,
Oh
I
my
did back
gosh.
in the day.
No.
Do you guys do Rubik's Cube?
No.
You can't do
They're
it?
like, look, we got the iced tea
I
game
can break
down.
it apart and put it back together.
There you go. There you go. Take the stickers off.
All right, Chuck and Jennifer here with Blend. Good to see you guys again.
You
Good
too.
morning.
So we love small businesses. We love what you guys got going on, and we love this because I paid a visit to you guys like last week or the week before. You got teas and shakes. Tell us about it.
Yes. So Blend is basically the healthy option for our community in Sacramento. We specialize in healthy teas and energizing opposite. Healthy shakes and energizing teas.
Perfect.
Nice.
So we're gonna do kind of like a demo
You can
for
make
you
healthy
guys.
and energize anything you want. It's
Yeah,
totally fine.
yeah.
But what I guess the question I'm going to ask Gary, I know has visited you. I'm excited to do that. What makes them healthier? I guess is the question.
Yeah, so basically our shakes, they count as full meal replacement
Doug,
shakes.
you could
so
drop
there's
out of this
21
when you want.
essential vitamins and nutrients
Okay.
in each one, and they act as full meal
So you get
replacement.
the picture
if you
there, right?
picture-
That's a typical kind of a company came in. We're going to highlight it. We're going to say what they do. But I mean, that clip, we were already a minute in. We only had probably two minutes left. So it's quick. People are moving. We're having to kind of keep that pace going. One of the things I'll say, because I know camera presence came up in some of the items that Doug thought would be important and the team thought would be important to tell. It's something I work on all the time. One, there's really two parts of it. One is when I am listening to someone, I have to really think about this part of my body, because a lot of times I will forget that like I'm on camera. And so I'll like literally get that kind of face, like it's kind of bored face, I think is what I might call it, or like maybe half annoyed, a little bit bored. And so I'll be like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, oh no, I have to like, so you have to kind of keep a smile, right? You have to kind of you have to be aware that you're like that someone's watching you the whole time, which is super weird. So that's one. Two, there's a cool trick in TV, and Gary does it way better than I do. I'm still kind of learning it, but it's where, and you saw it in that clip just really quickly. I was kind of proud of myself that I did it, is where you kind of, even though we're talking to people kind of this way, like, hey, tell us a little bit about the thing, and the camera's like where you guys are, you want to kind of check in with the camera, because as much as it's important that I'm connected with the people that are there, I also have to be connected with all of you, because otherwise you're like, hey, hi, I'm watching from home, and you're like forgetting that I'm here. So a lot of times, sometimes it's just like looking and just acknowledging that there's a camera and there's people there that are watching. So two quick things, little pointers that you could kind of remember when all of you become famous and you're all on camera and doing your thing. Just remember those couple tips.
We had a
Hey,
couple
Nick,
questions come
yeah.
in from a couple people from Helen Carr Costello are asking, did you get nerves when you're watching, or when you're on news and when there's a lot of people watching, do you get nervous?
I don't. I think that's Shane. That's a great name. That is a good question. I don't get as nervous anymore. I never really got nervous like talking in front of people. You guys know, I'm sure, that it's the number one fear that people have. Snakes is up there too. But like talking in front of people, wait, is everybody afraid of snakes like I am? We're all afraid of snakes together, right? Please say yes. Raise your hand if you're not afraid of a snake. Right. Micah, don't mess with me, Micah. Not afraid of snakes. All right. Well, hey, you're the one. But look, we're all afraid of snakes and we're all afraid of talking in public, like public speaking, for the most part. But that is something you can get over, just like snakes, I guess, too. It's something that with practice, feeling confident is actually the thing that I've found most. If you feel confident about what you're talking about and what you're going to do, there's really nothing to be nervous about, whether it's in front of 60, 70 people like this or 60,000 people. It doesn't make any difference. If you have the confidence of what you're doing and know what you're going to say, you're going to be fine. So every once in a while I'll get a little butterflies, big things I haven't done before. I'll get a little bit nervous, but otherwise I'm pretty good to go.
Adriana is asking, do you ever get a loss of words, or do you get do you start stuttering while you're getting filmed? And I would add to that, how do you overcome that?
Yes, Adriana, I absolutely do. I'm not a robot yet. And so I, haven't mastered the opportunity to like not stumble and stammer over words. I guess for me, like I like watching, I don't know about you guys, but I like watching shows and people on TV and just people in general, not even on TV, who are just real, like real people, like not real like they're mammals, but real like they're honest, like they are human. And we all make mistakes. We all stutter. We all use the wrong words. We can't conjugate verbs perfectly all the time. And like that's okay. Like we can be human beings. And so for me, I don't tend to try to pretend it didn't happen. That's probably one of the things, both on the announcing side, which we'll get to with the Kings, and also on Studio 40 Live. Like I kind of call it what it is. Today on the show, I forgot my microphone to start the show. Literally, I thought I was mic'd up on my lapel. We didn't use lapels today, which was different. And I left my microphone sitting like offset, like 20 feet away. And we started the show and I had no microphone. And I called it out, like, forgot my mic. I'm the idiot. Sorry about that. I can't say anything. Like I'm yelling into Gary's mic, basically. So like, rather than pretending like, I don't know, that I did it right, like I didn't. I blew it. And like, that's okay.
That's great. Nick, let's do Madison's question.
Yeah, Madison is asking, what's your favorite part of your job?
Of the Studio 40 Live job, to be honest, it's like the different people stories we hear about. We get to profile some really, really special stories and businesses and students and just people in our community that make our community so special and don't otherwise have a place where their story gets told very loudly or at all. And so having the chance to do that has been really cool, and just getting to meet all these different people on the show and learning about them and hearing about them and being able to share it.
Jasmine's asking, do you ever forget that you are being filmed?
Yes. I call that the Survivor phenomenon. Do you guys watch Survivor? Is there anyone else that watches Survivor? Yes. Thumbs up. We have a couple. One. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jasmine. Luis, I see you. So they say that on the show Survivor on CBS, that after, I think they say it's 2 days, 48 hours of being out there and being hungry and starving and cold and wet, they forget that there's like, the cameras are all over the place and bright lights and all of it. But like, they forget that it's actually a camera that's going to put them on TV. So I feel the same thing, kind of, not that I'm hungry or starving or wet, but that's because that would be an odd show. But I just kind of, yes, I do. It kind of blends in to just the world, which is weird, which is why I have to remind myself to like be present and not look like a mean face guy and like, smile. So yes, great question though. Great question.
Nick, you want to get one more in there, and then we're going to move on to the
Sure.
next topic.
Yeah, let's take the question from Rohan is asking, do you train yourself or your voice for talking for long periods of time?
That's a good question, Rohan. I know that I am loud. I speak loudly, which you'll see that if any of you are gonna eventually get into where you're working on broadcast or doing camera facing work, right? So where you're talent or working in front of the camera, you'll see and hear people tell you to speak up all the time because, and Doug and all of you who work in this area, you know, there's nothing worse than someone that's talking like this and you can't really hear and the audio is just terrible. Like you want, I mean, literally you're like, oh my gosh, like please use your big person voice. So the way I was always kind of taught or told early on is to, when you're talking either in a microphone or on a lavalier, the little clip mic, talk as if you're talking to someone 6 feet away from you, which is like our socially distanced place now. But like you want to be able to talk where you're projecting enough of your voice to get to carry 6 feet away versus just talking to someone like in a conversation, like you would probably do like this. But that doesn't work on TV. It doesn't work on a microphone. So the way that I talk, Rohan, actually, I feel like more of my sound comes from like my stomach and my abdomen versus my throat. Like after Kings games, and I'll get into this a little bit, is after Kings games, I usually don't have a sore throat. I have more like I felt like I did sit-ups, right? That's kind of the difference. And it's a trick. It's for sure a trick, especially when you talk as much as I do and then have the announcing style that I do that I know we'll get to. Good question.
Cool. All right, we're going to move on to your next job, which
Yes,
is
job
with
number
the
two.
Sac Republic FC.
Feel like I
So
should get
you're the
a
vice
scarf.
president of community investment for Sac Republic. So
I'll scarf myself
nice.
during this.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So what do you do? What's that mean?
What does that mean? Yes. So as I mentioned at UC Davis, I majored in psychology. I had an interest in working with people. The TV, the announcing, all that stuff has always been kind of a second job. My true love is really helping people who need help. I am kind of a social worker by trade, and I've always done that kind of work. I have worked in different community centers. I've worked in communities like Del Paso Heights and Meadowview, working in schools and resource centers, always working with kids and families on helping them, especially those that are, underprivileged and haven't had all of the help that they have deserved over time. I've always kind of worked in that realm. So it was back in 2014, I first got a job with the Kings doing that kind of work, doing all of their community work for the team. And then a few years later in 2018, so I've been there for a couple of years, my second job is now doing that same kind of thing for the Crest, for Sac Republic FC. We're headed to MLS, which I don't know if there's many soccer fans out there or not. I hope so. If not, there'll be more of you in the coming years. We'll see to that. But basically, we get to use our platform, use our team, use our business to do really cool, meaningful things in the greater Sacramento community to make it better and to make people's lives better. No different than what other kind of nonprofits and other businesses do when they give back to the community. I oversee all of our work as it relates to that. And we know that it's important work. We also know that it's important to tell people, our fans, our owners, the other young people, to let them know that we are actually doing that kind of work. And that's where storytelling really comes into play. And that's why I know we wanted to talk about a little bit today, is kind of the role that storytelling plays. I think, Doug, I have a quick PowerPoint that we could probably put up just as I think it's just a few slides. It'll just give you a quick overview of kind of what's your second job? What do you do again? What's happening? So that is our new stadium. That's how I always start every PowerPoint, because it's super pretty. That will be, we have, we're going to be moving dirt soon to build that thing. It's over in the rail yards. If any of you have kind of seen that when you're on I-5, it's a huge dirt waste pit right now that we're going to turn into. There's going to be a Kaiser hospital there. And then ultimately that beautiful stadium will be there where we'll play soccer. It could house other sports too, football and some others. But it'll be a little bit smaller. For those of you who've been to Golden One Center, it'll be smaller than that, but a really, really special stadium. So that's what we're building as Sac Republic. But in the meantime, we do a lot of, like I said, community work. We build fields, we refurbish fields so the kids have safe places to play. The top right image is something that we've been doing for quite a while. We actually send 12, 14, 16 of our staff and players to Folsom Prison every month to play a pickup soccer game with inmates at Folsom Prison. It is a very heavy, but very moving opportunity to work with some of these guys. Most of them are men inside of Folsom Prison that we're playing with, but they just play soccer. We have a feeling that we know that soccer brings people together in cool ways, and so we do it up there. The picture on the bottom left is Matthew Harding. Matthew was a Make-A-Wish recipient. We surprised him by signing him to a one-day contract. He then, yeah, that name, how about that? I see there is a Harding. We signed him to a one-day contract. He had a very serious illness. He was very, very sick. And so we brought him out. We put him into our starting lineup at a real game. We told the other team and worked with them a little bit, and he was able to score an actual goal in the first minute of that game. So it was very, very moving, lots of chills, and very cool. And then finally, those are all of our, we had a all girls clinic. We do a lot of work with, not just because I have a 10-year-old daughter and have an affinity for helping women be the greatest humans on earth, because they should be and are, many of them. But that is one of our all girls clinics that we put together where no boys allowed, only girls. Our trainers, our coaches, everybody involved in our soccer clinics for our all girls ones are women and females. We're trying to get more girls playing soccer. We're trying to get more women coaching soccer. So it's just something that we've invested some time in doing. You can see just real quickly some of our priorities on the next one, just the things that we spend our time doing: coaching, building safe places to play, helping people, young people, old people be healthier and better off in their lives. And we always say it takes a republic, just because that's a cool mantra, we always say. So so that is a little bit of the kind of overview. I think, Doug, I probably have our community video overview. I don't know if we have time for that. You tell me.
Yeah, I was just, we just wanted to talk about how you guys are deploying video and using video to tell your story, tell
Sure.
the Sac Republic story.
And look, I know, and we'll have many aspiring. I saw we have some stop motion people. We have probably, I'm assuming, a bunch of editors, shooters and editors on the call, or aspiring that way. We don't do anything in secret, right? Nothing we do we kind of keep to ourselves. We want people to know, especially when we're doing good and cool community work. And so it's our job to create these special videos and pieces that people can then watch and feel something as it relates to kind of what we're doing in the community. So I have a good example of kind of what one of our kind of overlooking pieces about how our community work rolls out.
Okay. So this is the community look back. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Coming up.
Sacramento Republic FC is way more than just a soccer team.
My favorite part of my job is that we have this platform and we have a role in this community.
I love how the Republic includes everybody. I'm proud of what the club is doing to improve Sacramento.
I got you. Sac Republic comes to the rescue.
It's very hard to get down because you constantly feel uplifted by everybody. So thank you very much for doing this.
Critical school supplies. I love it. Exactly. Learning doesn't happen without this.
I can't think of anything else that we'd want to do during this time.
1, 2, 3. Republic!
Just so thankful for us to be able to use our platform to give kids more safe places to play.
The 1, 2, 3.
You can kind of see around me that youth are engaged with the Sac Republic. They're running around, having a good time, being healthy.
Los niños miran a nosotros como ejemplo y nosotros tratamos que ayudar a los niños para que mejoren como persona, pero también como un futbolista.
When Sac Republic came to play with us, the prison ceased to exist. We never thought that, you know, that Sacramento Republic or anybody would come in and share the love for soccer.
I just want to let you guys know that you guys are, me personally, you changed my life. And I'll always be thankful to you, man, for the rest of my life. Like I said, I'm a Sacramento fan from here on out.
You know, Street Talk USA understands better than anyone the nuances of reaching the community members that need the life lessons of the beautiful game.
So there you have it. There's a little bit of just kind of how that was our video at the end of last year. We'll have one similar to it, where again we try to tell our community. Thank you for the applause on that. I like Abby. I thank you for that. But yes, I see some of the comments. Spanish speaking. We do Spanish speaking clinics, Spanish only speaking clinics, which are really moving because obviously the Latinx following to our team is huge, and so. Working in as many different communities and with as many cultures of people as possible. Soccer brings everybody together. It is truly the world's game. It's the most popular game in the world by far. I see Angel saying baseball is the move. I see other people commenting on other sports, but there is no doubt about it. Soccer is the world's most popular game. United States, we're still getting there. I see some of the questions. I was not a huge soccer guy. I didn't really play. I wasn't very good growing up. I played more baseball and football, but man, I've really learned to love the game in a whole new way working there. So
how big was the production team that built that piece?
We have two people. We have a producer and we have a shooter editor. That will change dramatically going forward versus the Kings, who have a production team of a dozen or so shooter editors, motion graphics people. We're still a minor league sport until we get to 2023 when we're in the MLS. So we will ramp up to probably resemble more of a 8 to 10 person team, but it's and a lot of different backgrounds of people that will be working, like I said, stop motion, graphics, lots of shooter editors. We love when when young talented people bring in their own style to how they've done things. It doesn't all need, and it shouldn't all look the same. It should definitely, kind of have a wide variety of kind of looks and feels, so long it is as it matches the brand. I mean, it's wide open. So we're excited to expand our team. I'm glad you brought that up.
Nick, any other questions there that we need to address in the chat real quick before we move on?
There's a couple that came in. Let's see.
These questions are so good, guys. I really, just real quick. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting in terms of like questions. This is super impressive. I am very impressed by how thoughtful and engaged you are in this. I can be incredibly boring, loud, yes, but also boring. So thank you for being interested in, and yes, I work on weekends. Sports knows no days. If you work in sports, you work on weekends. But sorry, go ahead.
Let's see. You already answered like a lot of these, but I think one of them was just in the beginning here from Matt. He's asking, what was kind of the process you did to become a sports, like within like a sports team, working for a sports team?
I mean, I knew that's the one thing that people don't often forget, younger people especially. As we get up into high school, you kind of start to see it. But a lot of people, like with Sac Republic or with the Kings or with the River Cats, they often think, oh, well, if you're not a player, there's not a job for me there. Like if I don't play basketball, I can't work for the Kings. Like that's the job. But obviously there are hundreds of jobs within those sports teams, from people who work in human resources, the broadcast department, social media, marketing, designers, ticket sales, group sales, suite sales, people who make the food at the arena. Like there are hundreds and hundreds, getting close to thousands of jobs community people like me who work in the community department. So there are a lot of different ways to plug in. And I just was so fortunate at the Kings and now our Republic to be able to plug into that community role that I love so much.
Okay, let's move on. We're going to move on to the Kings now. So
the Kings, those Kings. I'm going to take off my
Kings.
scarf. Is that's not we don't wear scarves and hoop. We wear tank tops and shorts. I don't know what we wear.
So 18, 19 years ago, or even before that you, can you kind of describe how you became the public address announcer?
Yeah.
And talk about the tryout process and perseverance and, how it came to be.
For sure. So it was back in 2000, which I'm fully aware none of you were born then. So that's, that is what it is. There was a long time when I was young, when I was your guys' age and before, the Sacramento Kings moved to Sacramento in 1990, what was it? 1985. 1985 was their first year. So they had an announcer, a public address announcer, the guy who screams the names. That's what I do. They had one for many, many years when I was growing up. His name was Fred Anderson. He sadly passed away in 1998. They filled in for his role for a couple of years. And then in the year 2000, they opened up a contest for anyone in the community that wanted to try out who thought they could be the announcer for the Sacramento Kings. I was, before that, doing some announcing at my dad's high school. At my high school, I had finished college and I was back doing some announcing there. I was announcing some junior college sports, a little bit at Sac State. So I was doing a little bit of announcing when I was at Davis. I worked on the radio. I worked on campus radio. So I had a little bit of experience, but not really a whole lot. So they have this contest. They send us all to this restaurant that was over by Cal Expo. It doesn't even exist anymore. And they put us in there. There were 160 or so people like me that tried out and thought that they could be the announcer for the Kings. We all tried out. They basically projected up a game on the wall. They gave us a microphone in a packed restaurant and had us announce the game the way that we would announce, like, in an arena. So I'm like, oh, I got this. Like, I'm going to do fine. This is good. So I do my thing. I get a call back the next day. Hey, you advance to the next round. So they take it from 160 people down to 80, round 2. And then I made it down to the next round. And then I made it down to the next round. Finally, I'm in the final 4 and I'm stoked. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like this is my childhood team. I've loved the Kings since I was 12. Like, this is it. I'm going to be able to do this job. They bring us each in, all 4 of us. They had us each announce a half of a preseason game in the year 2000. So I announced the first half of the Seattle Supersonics game versus the Kings. Now the Seattle Supersonics don't even exist anymore. Okay. So that's how long ago this was. So I did my thing. I did the big, and I yell out players' names. I did my thing, thought I did great, put the mic down, watched the rest of that game, waited for my call a couple days later. I'm stoked. I did it. I know I did so good. I've got this job. Call me up, guy named Seth Bardicke, who I'm still friends with today. Hey, Scott, just want to thank you for your time, dude. You were so good. You really opened everybody's eyes to how that could sound, how an announcer could sound. You didn't get the job. I was like, wait, what? Come again? He's like, no, sorry, you didn't get the job. We're going with another guy. His name's Ira Smith. He was one of the finalists. He's a little bit older. He's got a different kind of sound, a much deeper voice than you. He doesn't yell like you do. I don't know if that was the issue, but you didn't get it. So thanks. And I was like, what? Like, I thought for sure, I thought this was my gig. I was so bummed. But one thing I didn't do, and this was my lesson. I was so happy. I wanted to go crazy. I wanted to yell at someone. I wanted to write a letter. I wanted to tweet, except Twitter wasn't even invented. Like, I wanted to go insane, but I didn't. I kept my cool. I took a breath and I said, you know what? Okay, maybe it wasn't my time. I called them back and said, no problem, totally understand. And look, if you have anything ever that you need help with, anything at all, you get in touch with me. I'll be the first to come and help you out, whatever it is. So over the next 2 years, they actually called back every once in a while. I would help them. I would announce a halftime fashion show at a Kings game. I would do something outside when they would activate the outer area. I would stay just enough connected so that they kind of just remembered my name and thought that I was a nice and somewhat talented guy. And then the year 2002, it was summer. They called me up. Hey, Scott, hey, we're just getting a new sound system into the arena, into the old Arco Arena. We want to hear what it sounds like with an announcer through those speakers. Would you mind coming down? I don't know why I'm doing the phone like this. No one does this. I should just use the actual phone. So would you come down and would you just yell into the speakers so that we could hear what it sounds like with an announcer? And I'm like, of course I will, no problem. So I run on down to the arena. They give me a microphone. All the new the speakers were up. I literally just walk around the arena and I'm like yelling people's names, like random people that I know. The staff are starting to come in just so they could hear the difference. Ownership's coming in and I'm like yelling, Liz Rhodes. I'm like yelling people's random names randomly. And they were like, I was like 20 minutes and they're like, okay, thanks, appreciate it. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, great. Here's your microphone back and I'll move on. So I got a call later that night, about 6:30 p.m. from Seth, the same guy. And he says, hey, just want to let you know, that was an informal tryout. We were reminding everybody how good you are at doing this. We want to offer you the job to be the announcer starting this season, 2002. Do you want it? And I was like, let me think. Yes, I want it. Of course I want it. So that's the beginning of the story. That's how I got it. Obviously, took me 2 years to ultimately get there and do it, but I've been doing it ever since. It's super cool. I've met some of my favorite people on earth within that job. I sit down there courtside. I sit right next to the action. It's been, yes, as Jeff says, it's the best seat in the house. Announcing players' names, I take it very seriously. I try to get everybody's name right. That's why I will not say Tofinelli's first name, because I'm afraid to say it. But I will say the last name, which is Tofinelli, which I'm really excited that I got correct. But that's how I started. And yeah.
Can we show a quick clip from that video you sent me?
Yes. So I get one of the questions I get, and there's a lot of great questions. But what was your favorite game in all those years? What's your favorite game? What's been your favorite moment to announce? And it was when the sale of the team, the Kings sold to a new ownership group. And it was the first time that the new owner owned the team, first game, and that we knew that the Kings were going to stay in Sacramento forever because there was a chance they were going to leave. So they stayed forever. And this was the first game back knowing that we were staying. Lots of fans. Mascots excited. Pretty good.
At two guards, 6'4" from LSU, number 23, Marcus Thornton. Running the point at 6'6" from Maryland, number 10, Ravis Vasquez. A 6'6" forward from the U, number 5, John Salmons.
You could dump that, Doug. So you get the idea, obviously. How much do we miss like being around people? I'm like watching that. I'm like, oh my, can you believe we were all packed in that tiny place? Like, that's crazy. But that's what I do. I've been doing it for a long time. I hope to continue to do it for a long time, but yes, that was a phenomenal game. I've never lost my voice, knock on wood. I've definitely had it tired at the end. I still am announcing for the Kings. I'm just running through some of these questions. But yes, it's a magical experience to be able to do it.
Cool. Nick, any other questions you want to get there?
Haley's asking, the first time you announced for the Kings, was it hard?
Yeah, I was nervous. Like that question earlier about, do you ever get nervous? I was super nervous at that game. And it took me a while. It took me a while to kind of get comfortable with just how I do it and all those. I had announced a lot of things before, but that certainly was that's different when you're there in the middle of all that and all the noise and having a live microphone with all those people. It was quite different. So I love all you people at Kings games. That's so great. And since I've been doing it, since all of you have been alive, you've never had another announcer. I'm so happy to say that. Pronouncing the names, yes, hard, sometimes. What's another question? Bring it on.
Let's see.
Do we have more time? Are we done?
Yeah, no, we're good.
I think we have some time. Yeah. Well, how about during COVID-19? How has everything changed with the Kings during that?
Well, we had a game where a lot of that was happening last year in March. They shut down the NBA, and then for some of you NBA fans that know, they played all their games with all the teams in one bubble in Florida. The season is supposed to start up in a couple weeks with no fans yet. Fingers crossed that over the course of the next couple months, we'll be able to get fans back in the building. But I think I'm going to be there announcing games despite there being no fans. I don't know if I'll go quite like doing the most or whatever you got young people say that was all extra. Yes, I don't know if I'll be that extra all the time, but I am supposed to be there doing my thing.
Let's see. Question here from Sunrise Elementary. Have you ever messed up during your commentary?
I have. I've messed up many times. And again, I just try not to pretend I didn't. I even will say things like check that or that's wrong. And I'll repeat what I was supposed to say. Real quick, I want to say a question I often get. I didn't see it yet, but the way that I announce games, I grew up going to my the high school he taught at, right, at John F. Kennedy, ultimately where I went. And the announcer, his name was Hassan Hanks. And the reason I bring that up is because that was the voice I heard through my whole childhood. And he's the way that I announce games is the way that he announced games. Like I copy his exact kind of the way he does it. And I see that there's some people from Sutter Middle School, right? Did I see some Sutter?
Yeah.
Caleb, you go to Sutter? That is where Hassan Hanks taught. He was a teacher at Sutter Middle School. And like, he's the one, he called himself the Golden Voice. And it was super cool. I thought he was the coolest. I was a young guy. I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so I have some of that in my memory, and I do definitely copy him for sure.
Let's see. Shane is asking, do you think it'll be weird without any fans and people in the stands?
It will be for sure. I mean, especially the players love playing in front of people, the entertainment part of it, the videos we put up, the contests we run, all of that is really based on other humans and fans in the building and that energy, and that's not going to be there, and it's going to be odd. But that's what 2020 has been about, is odd, but we know we can get through it. We will get through it. All of us here in one way or another. We will certainly get through it, and we'll be excited to welcome fans back when it's safe.
We got another question came in. What is your strategy going to be going into games during COVID now and announcing again?
That's a good question. I haven't seen yet what our kind of how we're going to do it. Like, we're not going to, obviously, for those of you, all those people that said, I've been to games, parents or season ticket holders, that kind of thing. I haven't seen yet what our plan is in terms of what we're going to do during timeouts and during during starting introductions, which is usually the big kind of fanfare moment with videos rolling and audio and pyro, fireworks and all that stuff. I haven't seen or heard yet. You know, the Kings folks are busy figuring out what the season is going to look like. So they have a lot on their plate to do. I'm sure they'll try to make it, especially because most of us will be watching from home on TV. They'll try to give it as good of an experience as possible for those watching on their phones or watching at home, but it's going to be big time different.
Hey, Nick, one more.
Can I answer Jerry's question?
Yeah, let's do Jerry's. Yeah.
Is that Pleasant Grove?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jerry, great question, dude. So practice, man. That's really how. Like, people would always ask me, like, man, how do you get better? How do you get to be a better announcer? How do you get to be a better? It's just, you got to do it. Like, you literally, and you guys now, all of you, unlike some of the older folks on the call, we didn't have cameras all the time, right? We did not have a recording device. You guys now have these constantly. Use them for good. Use them for practice. Use them to, like, if you want to be a reporter, a sideline reporter, go to once we start back up, go to a soccer game, or don't pretend you're at a soccer game and report from the sideline. Call a game as an announcer, right? Continue to edit, working your editing magic when you're, bringing things, whatever you're using, whatever editing platform you're using, like, just do it a lot. I announced hundreds and maybe thousands of games before I became the Kings announcer. So I had a running start. I didn't just jump into that job. It wasn't like it wasn't American Idol where I was like no one, and then all of a sudden, oh, I'm famous today because I got it. I was announcing girls' high school basketball tournaments. I was announcing, junior college tournaments, 12 games in 3 days. I mean, I was doing it a lot. And I'm so thankful now because it gave me so much practice and let me understand what works and what doesn't. Whether it's a high school girls basketball game or the Sacramento Kings, the game is the same. You literally, there's virtually no difference other than, one's on TV and those guys are making a lot of money, and the girls are playing because they love basketball and they're playing as part of their team. But there's not many differences. So you can just practice, get on a microphone, get behind a camera, get in front of a camera, and do it as much as you can.
Well, Scott, thank you so much. This was just great. And really appreciate you taking the time to talk to the group today.
I'm so honored by all these questions. I hope to see you all. I'll work with Doug and the SIVA squad around trying to figure out a way to get you guys, once soccer opens back up, maybe we could get you guys in for a big group game. You can all come. You could be my guest to come to a game. I know we have some prizes to send out, so we'll make sure to get those in some of your hands. But super honored. Thank you for the attention, for putting up with me and my weird behavior, and keep working hard. I know this is a crazy time. The youngins on the call, the older kids on the call. I know this is a crazy time. It's not going to last forever. We're going to get through it. Just try to stay positive, help support each other, be kind, and appreciate you.